I'm recording on that. Okay. All right. So we're talking about how can we make our February the way we want it, both in our sales, because we have these amazing sales incentives. I'm really laughing about everybody wanting that water bottle with the crystallized lid. I saw somebody, I just came back from exercise class in Pilates, and one of the gals next to me had a water bottle just like it, except without the crystallization. And I was telling her that that's one of our sales incentives. And I was laughing at everybody who said that they wanted that thing. So that's $2,000 in sales. So let's think about that. That's about 3 parties. In some locations, it's 2 parties. In some locations, it's 4 parties. If you're literally starting from nothing, it doesn't matter, because the good news is we've got 27 whole days. So my question is, each one of you, tell me if you could, like for real, how many parties do you want to do? Would you want to do if you could in the month of February?
6 for me, Shanna, please.
Okay. Okay. Great.
For Allison, I have 1 booked, and I would love to get 5 more booked, but I'll be happy with 4 more booked.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to give me a number?
I have 2 books and 2 in the works.
Nice. And how many would you like?
As many as I could.
Give me a number. Like how many parties would you really like to do?
Well, at the beginning of the year, I was setting a party a week, but January ended up with 6. So I'm hoping to repeat.
So 6 would be a good solid number for you, Diane?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good goal.
And this is Rhonda. I have 2, and I would like to do 2 a week. Even if they're catalog parties, I would like to do at least 2 a week.
Okay. Okay. 2 a week. I love that idea. Okay. Maya, do you have a number? You have 1 booked and you would love, I'm reading your chat. Chat. She says she would like to do 3 more and maybe 4 or 5 more. Okay. And we had Allison. Oh, Chastity, you have a full calendar, I think. She's got 6. Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's got 6 parties and a couple launches and a vendor event. I remember that now. Okay. So we all want some, right? And I've got 3 more that I would like to book. So how do we do this? I was talking to somebody last night at a customer appreciation event that we did locally, and she was saying that she feels like she's burned out her friends. Now, whether you're brand new or you're not new, we're always worried about burning out our friends. And what it really boils down to is how uncomfortable are we willing to be to get what we want? Because our discipline becomes our freedom in our business. As uncomfortable as we're willing to be is how successful we will become. It's just kind of the way it works. Here's the really sad fact. This is not going to be encouraging, but it might be encouraging, is that literally every single day I'm uncomfortable. My stomach gets squishy. I know, Maya's like, no, dear God, help me. This has got to get better. It doesn't get better, but I'll tell you what happens. It's kind of like Pavlov's dogs. So I have gotten used to the fact that being uncomfortable is not a bad thing. That being uncomfortable actually means I'm making progress. It means that I'm doing the stuff that I know is going to move my business forward. So it doesn't take away that sick feeling in my stomach when I send a text message and I'm going, oh my gosh, she's on my chicken list. I'm scared to death to offer a party to this woman, but I'm going to do it anyway. Screw up my courage, even though I think I might be an idiot. I'm going to do it anyway, because all she can do is ignore me or tell me no, but she might say yes, and it might open up a whole other world for me. So this darling gal and I were talking last night about this, and she was so afraid of burning out her friends because I think she feels like she has. And it's tough because she has 2 new team members. She's done a great job of sponsoring, but now she's terrified of booking parties. And I said, here's the deal. The way to not burn out your friends is to start doing parties with acquaintances. So what does that mean? It means the people that you don't see all the time. It's the people who know your name and you know their name, but you don't really hang out with them. There's probably a lot of people like that you know. Instinctively, we say to ourselves, there is no way I'm going to reach out. There's no way I'm going to reach out to these people that I barely know. There's just no way. But think about it. The very best party that you could possibly do. Hold on a second. The very best party that you could possibly do is one that is with someone that you don't know very well, and she ends up inviting all the people that she doesn't know, all the people that you don't know that she does know. Because so what happens? You book parties from that party, and they're all with people that you've never met before. That's how you get outside of your circle, and that's how you don't burn out your friends. The closer you keep those parties to your current, like your closest best friends, the more likely it is you're going to burn out your friends, and the more likely it is that you're not going to book parties from those parties. But if everybody in that room is seeing Touchstone Crystal for the very first time and they'd never met you before, they're going to book parties with you. It's just the way it works. It's the best party you will ever do is with an acquaintance. Okay? It's really true. So what do? We screw up our courage, we put on our big girl panties, and we treat it like a business. So it's okay for this to be a hobby for somebody. It really is. And there are a lot of people who just come in and they'll do, a party every now and again when somebody asks for one or when they feel like it. That's awesome. And you're going to have women on your team who want to do that. And we love them because they're great brand ambassadors for Touchstone Crystal. I love that. Love it. They're so welcome to be that. But for those of us who want to build a business, we have to be our best boss possible. This is what I was telling this gal last night. I said, if your boss asked you to reach out to 10 people with something that you are uncomfortable with, would you do it? Her answer was yes. Of course you would. It's time to be your boss. It's time to stop treating it like a hobby, like, ooh, I'm squishy, this is a hobby, I can just do it tomorrow. No. If you want it to be a business, treat it like a business. It's hard. It's hard. But here's the funny thing. It's the only part about this business that's hard. Everything else in this business is easy. Everything. Doing the parties, we can learn it, we can teach it, and every party is a little different. Plugging in orders, we can learn it. All that stuff, we can learn all of it. The only part that's really squishy is this that we're talking about right now, but it unlocks everything else that you want from your business. Everything. It will never get any easier. But when you start getting the results that you want, you'll be more and more and more willing to do it. Does that make sense? And Maya's like, oh, dear God, I thought she was going to tell me this was going to get easier and I was just going to be able to make this happen. I wish I could.
It does get a little easier, though, because the more you know, the more confident you feel doing it, and then it just spews out of you.
And Shanna, you're great. You are a great example of that. For years, you came to Glam Jam every summer. For years, you did a party every now and again. And then all of a sudden, you turned it into a business, not a hobby, because you had specific goals. You had to make money to pay for those books for your daughter in college. You had no choice. Necessity was the mother of invention. And you totally changed your mindset. You went home and you learned that party presentation cold. I'll never forget when you called me and said, I want to say my party presentation to you. I about fell out of my chair. You told me when you were going to do it. You said, next Friday, I'm going to call you and I'm going to tell you my party presentation. I was like, is this Shanna Campbell? And that turned it around.
I asked myself the same thing.
I know, right. But the difference was that you had a goal and you were scared to death, but you put on your big girl pants and you started treating it like a business, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many do you have? How many are on your team right now?
There's 12 of us total between the girls that they've recently recruited.
Yep.
But only 3 have made the ambassador, so the other 3 will be launching this month under Marietta. Yeah.
Right.
So.
And how many did you have at Glam Jam last July? Basically none.
None.
Essentially none.
I think, maybe Lynn Combs under Lauren. I don't even know.
She's been a great seller all these years. Yeah, a great retailer all these years. But all of a sudden, your business exploded because you took the leap of faith and treated it like a business and said, I'm going to do what's uncomfortable because I know it's going to pay off. So that's the key. So let's think about that.
It does.
What can you all do? Just give me a couple popcorn ideas. What kinds of things could you do today? Let's say over the next 3 days. What could you do over the next 3 days that will give you the parties that you want for February? And then we're going to shift gears in a minute.
I have a list of about 30 names that I've just been coming up with as I was driving for 15 hours that I was thinking of and writing down. And so my goal I've already reached out to some, but by the end of the weekend, I want to reach out to all of them. And some of them are sponsor potentials. And, just share the business and hopefully get February, March, and April penciled in.
Love it. You know what's really funny? I remember, some of you know who Lindsay Kavanaugh is. She is a senior executive director on our team. When Lindsay first started, she came in with 0 direct selling experience. She was working a corporate job. She was successful in her job. She's married to a small business owner and they have 2 kids. So her life was super busy. She said, oh no, I don't really want to do any parties, Betsy, but I want to sponsor everybody I know. I was like, well, Lindsay, doesn't quite work that way, but she kind of ignored me. And here's what happened. She took the same approach as you, Allison. She's to a certain degree of what you're describing. Every single night, she would get on Facebook or text or whatever, and she would start sending messages to individuals and say, I just found this amazing new business. It's owned by Swarovski. Are you looking for something to do? Are you looking for extra income? Let me show this to you. And they would get back to her, and some were curious about the income opportunity, but some said, no, I'm really not interested in a business, but I'd love to do a party with you. So next thing we know, she's got this fat, solid, sassy party calendar. She was recruiting at the same time, but she ended up with a party calendar that she had dreaded, which cracks me up. And the funny thing is, when she did all those parties, she was sponsoring from those parties the people that she had not met before. And she was offering all of this to people she barely even knew. She was offering the business to even acquaintances. Like, I don't know if you'd ever want to take a look at it. So that was kind of an interesting trickle-down effect. She offered the best thing that we have, and in turn, ended up getting both sponsors and parties out of it.
Yeah.
But I love that, Allison. So your goal is to finish reaching out to all 30 of them by the weekend. I think that's fantastic. Let me ask you a question. For you, what's the best way to reach out to people? What works for you?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I kind of have a question that I've been wanting to ask your opinion on, and this could kind of lead into it. So for me, I do it it depends on how comfortable I am with the person. So sometimes text, sometimes Facebook Messenger, sometimes email. Mm-hmm. I like Messenger because I know that they've seen it, and it can be frustrating when they don't respond right away, but it's fine. You have to roll with the punches. Yeah. With emails, you kind of question, ooh, did they get that? Did it go to spam? What happened? Right. And then with text, everyone checks their text. So you know that they're seeing that too. But when I'm talking to people, how do you feel about just being blunt and saying, I'm just getting started in this. I'm trying to expand my circle. And, you want them to benefit too. And you're going to relay that to them. But also being honest that I kind of want to go outside of my circle, and I don't know that you have a lot of friends. Yep. Friends. Have you had good results with that, or is it kind of? Because I feel like the whole script. Because I've gotten scripts from Mary Kay people, and I know that they're doing booking blitzes and things like that. And I'm like, oh, this is total script, and I want to sound genuine. Yeah, but of
course. But it is nice if you can kind of create some words that you like to use all the time, so you're not reinventing the wheel with every single reach out. I love that idea. Yeah. So here's the difference. there's a difference between what you said and I really need your help because I'm brand new and I got to get some parties on my calendar. Would you be willing to help me? That's completely different. That's like, I'm the victim. You need to be my savior, right? What you're talking about is I am a strategic businesswoman and I'm looking to get outside of my normal circle of people to introduce this line.
Right.
I think it's brilliant. I love it. It's strategic and it's really smart.
Yeah, and another thing that I always say is, do you know if your friends have ever heard that Swarovski has a direct selling division?
Oh, right.
And that's how you tell them when they do the party. Like, don't tell them, oh, come and buy something. Just say, you got to check out this new line. It's amazing. And then they'll be excited about it and hopefully just pop by for some wine and end up buying something.
That's great.
Okay, perfect.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. Thanks, Shanna. That's good. Allison, does that help you? Does it give you confidence?
It does. It does.
Yeah. Because again, the best party you'll ever do is with an acquaintance.
Right. I love that. I actually wrote that down.
The other reason it'll be one of the best parties you'll ever do is not only because she knows people that you don't know, but also because she's not doing it as a favor to you. She's doing it because she wants jewelry and she's going to have a goal in mind. And you'll help her create that goal. Yeah. But she's not doing it like, oh, poor sad, everybody, Rhonda, Wendy, Allison, Shanna, poor girl. She's starting this new business. I feel so bad for her. It's really hard, right? She's not doing it because she doesn't know anything about that. She knows that she wants jewelry and she wants to have her friends over, right? Which is exactly where it needs to be. It needs to be all about the fun. So I think that's great. I love it. Okay. So who else? Who else has something that they are willing to do? Say it out loud. What are you willing to do over the next 3 days to get it going?
I have been checking my Facebook friends to watch for announcement of happy news like marriage, engagement, and I have sent a couple of messages asking if they would like to see the beautiful jewelry and set a parties for their bridal party to see the jewelry and check it out. And ask if the either the mother of the bride, I asked a mother of the bride and I asked the sister of the bride to see if they would host one for the bridal party, and then the bride would earn the blings as a hostess.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And this is sort of that season where you start seeing more and more of that. One thing that I have started noticing, I don't know why I'm getting really sensitive, just there's something in particular, is this concept of trying to lead with what the benefit is to the person. So, so let's think about it. If we know a bride, we might, so what are the benefits that we can give to the bride? One-stop shopping for all of her bridal jewelry. Swarovski, she already knows the name. So it's jewelry she can trust. She can get it all in one place for her whole bridal party and for herself. She knows that it's high quality. She doesn't have to run around and go shopping in lots of different places to find her jewelry. So these are all benefits to the bride of shopping with us or doing a party with us for this jewelry. So you might consider finding a way to say things like, I have a great way for you to make finding all of your jewelry super simple and super inexpensive, still with Swarovski quality jewelry. Let me show you what we have. Because then that'll pique her interest of, because it is all about the benefit. We want to paint a picture in her mind of what that would be. It's the same when we're reaching out to any hostess, right? We want to paint a picture of sandals, sangria, and Swarovski and fun with her friends and getting free jewelry. We want to paint these pictures for them so that they can justify to themselves saying yes to a party and feeling good about inviting their friends, not like, ooh, I don't know if any of my friends would come to something like this. Yeah, they would. Sandals, sangria, and Swarovski, or cocktails and crystals, they would. So we want to lead with benefits. And Diane, I love that you're focusing on that. I really had, and we have that beautiful bridal brochure too. Love that. Okay, that's great. And so, will that?
And I did a party with the bride, and she she got her bridesmaid stuff, and what I said to her was, you know, you could invite your friends and then get your bridal party stuff for free and your stuff for free, or buy a little bit for the bridal party, but either way, you'll get your wedding jewelry for free.
Love it. Love it. That's so fun. That's
so,
great.
and after her wedding, I'm recruiting her, but she's busy.
Right. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Because then she owns a good bit of it by that time. Okay, who else is going to do what over the between now and when Super Bowl Sunday is over? To build your party calendar. What else can you think of? How many will you reach out to that you're willing to reach out to?
I'm sending it to people like, oh my gosh, the company just announced that we have a 99 starter kit. If you've ever thought about joining before, now's the time to start.
There you go. Right.
And the fact that if you join, then they're going to offer it to your people for the next month. That's just crazy.
You could also send a link to the online catalog too, when you send that.
Right. Perfect. I will. Thank you.
And then that way, when they're looking at the catalog, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, I could sell this for $99. That'd be great.
Perfect. I'm doing that tomorrow to 40 people, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a list yet, but I'm telling myself I do.
Yeah. Yeah. That led me to a question, and then it totally escaped my mind, Shanna. Thank you for that. That's a good one. What, who else? Who else has something that they want to stake their claim? I'm going to do this over the weekend to make sure I get what I want. Anybody want to tell? Maya's afraid to say a word. Oh, okay. She said she's messaging ladies that have shown a bit of interest in the past, both for parties and with the February $99 special, and also going back through the list for ladies who aren't close friends. Yeah, I think that's really the critical component. Let me ask you all a question. What are you going to do when you don't hear back from somebody after the first couple of days? Cry? Feel stupid? I feel like such an idiot. I can't believe I just sent that to her. Now she thinks I'm really stupid because now she's not saying anything. How many times?
I would ask if she received it, because sometimes people are moving so fast through the day that they scroll past it and they mean to respond, but they don't.
Right.
So after a few days, I would be like, hey, did you get my text?
Yeah.
And then see.
Right.
And then if she doesn't respond, then I would think all those things that you said.
Yeah. And then you can assume that's all true, right?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
No, then you have to do what Barbara McGovern says, next, and move on to someone else.
Next. Right. Yeah. If you don't hear back from them after 2 times, leave them alone for a while. Yeah. Just make a longer list. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's talk about the $99 kit. Do you understand how that works? So it's funny, Diane and I, we were chatting in the parking lot yesterday about the concept of kidnappers. And when we have a $99 month, we have lots of opportunities for people to come in as kidnappers, where they go, oh, that sounds like a great deal. I get $600 in jewelry for $99. Why wouldn't I do that? Right? And then we go, wait a minute, what have I just created here? Right? Because what we really want to do is bring in women who want to build a business. So you can turn somebody down and tell them, no, I would rather keep you as a hostess, right? Because they're going to get a whole lot more in free as a hostess in the long run. And then you don't lose their whole circle of friends and that whole party train, right? So you don't want to flip every single hostess. You don't want to allow every single person who goes, oh, $99, let me have it. Let them sign up. However, I will tell you a great story. It was not a $99 month, but it was during a regular $139 month. And I met Shauna Assalone in the airport in Aruba for the first time. Random meeting. And a week later, she signed up. She lives in Westchester, New York. And I was talking with her. I gave her a catalog in the airport. She decided to sign up even though she protested and swore she wouldn't do it. She signed up and basically was going to do one party. And she was basically going to be a kidnapper. Little did we know, she's now a senior director and has a senior executive director and a key director on her team. as well as a lot of other leaders. You never know what a person might do. And so the key is, if somebody starts to show interest, because the $99 thing is about getting people to have their ears perk up, right? When their ears perk up, now what are you going to do? You want to get curious and ask that. When their ears perk up, you want to get big ears. You want to ask them some questions. Oh my goodness, your ears just perked up. Tell me why. So instinct would be like, oh, her ears perked up. I got to like swoop in and grab her while she's ready, right? As opposed to, tell me why your ears perked up. And then shut up. I have this chip clip here. And my chip clip is to make me stop talking when I'm working with somebody like that. And wait means, why am I talking? Now, obviously, I'm doing a training, so I'm talking. But FAYC is forget about yourself completely, right? So if I'm talking to a potential consultant, so she's just like, oh, it's $99 this month? Yes. Are you curious? Well, yeah, a little bit. Well, tell me why. And I'm shutting up. Why am I talking? I'm not talking. I'm going to listen, because I'm going to forget about myself completely, right? Because I want to know why she's a little curious. Now, instinct would go, okay, I got to tell her everything I know, and that we can go to Alaska together, and we're going to go be roommates at Glam Jam. And suddenly she's going, wait, I was just a little curious because you had a $99 kit. And so you want to find out, what is it about this that makes her curious? That's the first thing that you're going to want to do. And listen really carefully. Then still don't answer her. Ask her another question, a follow-up question. You want to really understand what she's saying. Well, I was kind of looking for a way to make money. So it might be what she says, right? And you might say, oh, well, that's interesting. What have you been looking at? She's not going to run away, right? Just because you didn't swoop in and tell her about Touchstone. You want to ask her another question. Well, what have you been looking at? Well, I've been thinking about, taking a job at Kohl's or working at the Hallmark store, or, well, how much money are you thinking you want to make? You want to understand what she's talking about if she's curious. Or maybe it's, I don't know, I was just thinking I got to get out of the house sometimes. Oh, well, why is that? Well, because I've got 17 children and I don't know what, I got all these kids and I need to get out of the house every now and again. Well, I can understand that. How many times a week are you thinking about getting out of the house, if you could? Well, I would probably want to get, so you're asking business questions of this person. You're trying to help her focus and identify why she might be a little bit curious about the $99 kit. Instead of telling, instinctively, we just want to tell her everything we know. But we want to find out first about her, because we want to forget about ourselves completely, and it's all about her. So that's the key. The best thing that you can do, two things. One is share that $99 meme with everybody you know, because you have no idea who needs this business. No clue. Literally no clue. There are women in your life. Picture the 100 women that you know. There are women in your life who are desperate for something that you are not aware of, I promise you. Probably most of them are looking for something that you're not aware of, because they don't always talk about what they need. But it might be that you come in at just the right moment, and they'll respond back to you because they saw that you either posted it or you sent them something out of the blue. The second thing is, the more parties you do this month, the more women you have to offer this to. When you're at your parties, the jewelry is going to sell itself. If you're interested in building a business rather than a hobby, and hobbies are great, but if you're building a business, the reason you do parties is to staff your team. It's to find women who want to do this business with you. Women who need Touchstone Crystal. That's how we find them, is at these parties where we've never met these women before. Okay. And you're going to keep bringing on some of your girlfriends over time. I've had people start with me years later, several years later. They're like, okay, I think I'm ready to start now. We've been friends for 2 decades, right? It's great, because the timing was everything for her. But your proactive reach out is what's going to change your business, completely change it. The interesting thing is, you could find 3 people this month to sign up and sell $99. You really could. Between the ones that you think of that you can reach out to and the ones that you'll meet at the parties, there is nothing stopping you. By the way, on Monday night, we're going to be starting a slightly different Monday night training series. So every Monday night at 7:30, we'll still be doing the Zoom Spread the Sparkle Business Opportunity. It looks just like this, except we use that tool that I posted today on the Star Thrower Team page, and it's the Business Opportunity PDF. You can use it. Anytime you got somebody who's curious, say, hey, give me 5 minutes, I want to show you something. And you pull that thing up on your screen, and you sit down with them for coffee, and you show them the 5 reasons Touchstone Crystal is the place to be, all these things. We're going to do that every Monday night at 7:30. Send people to this thing. Just send them. You hop on too if you want to, but send them. At 8 o'clock, we do the new consultant training call, Ready, Set, Glam. And then at 8:30, something totally different we're starting right now. And it's not on Zoom. It's going to be on a telephone line. I know, like old school, right? And we're going to be doing a different training topic every single Monday night at 8:30 from here on out. You'll have different trainers, different topics. Sometimes it's sponsoring, sometimes it's Glam Central, sometimes it's booking parties, sometimes it'll be hostess coaching. It might be party presentation. It might be ways to make your party, $1,000 every time. It'll be different things every week. But at 9 o'clock for the next 4 weeks on Monday night is Future Leader Training Call. If you want to make 40%, and if you want that $500 leader bonus, I encourage you to make plans to be on that call starting on Monday night. It's for 4 weeks. It's a Future Leader Training Series. My personal preference, I'm supposed to make it a requirement, but just because I said so, not because anybody else said so, is for you to have 4 parties on your calendar for some time in the future. You've got all kinds of time between now and Monday night to get that to go. 4 dated parties on your calendar, because if you have 4 parties, you're going to be able to do the things that we're going to be talking about more easily, more quickly, right? Because when you're in motion, it's sort of like with Shanna Campbell is a professional figure skater, and she is a figure skating instructor. She's on the call. Shanna.
I'm headed to pick up my little 7-year-old elite gymnast right now.
Go get that girl. So, Shanna, am I right? You cannot have somebody doing a jump or anything if they're not in motion, right? She can't be standing on the ice. She's got to be skating forward, right? She muted again. So picture an ice.
Sorry, my GPS was talking and I muted it. Yes, absolutely. You're right, Betsy.
Yeah. So we want you in motion. We want you skating forward. And then and that way you can be on the Future Leader Call with lots of things to practice on. Lots of ways of moving your business forward. So think about it, with 3 people on your team, all starting this month, right? And we'll help you do all this. We'll help you train them. We'll help you figure out how to do their launch parties, all that stuff. And you don't have to do their launch parties. They can come with you to a party, watch you, and then they can go do their launch party. You don't have to attend launch parties if you don't want to. You could be earning 40% on all of your sales, and you can get that $500 cash bonus and 9% on your team member sales. It's pretty sweet the way Touchstone has got this all straight for us. And this $500 bonus is just, adds to the fun. It all boils down to parties. And we've all agreed that that is the least fun part of this, but it's the most necessary part because it unlocks everything else for us, right? The $99 kit is what we get to offer proactively to people and what we can offer at the parties, because that's the reason we go and do the parties, really, right? And then we get that $500 bonus staring us in the face, right? People who are already group leader don't have access to it. But the beautiful thing is, we, like Diane, you and I, Chastity, you and I, Shanna, you and I, we have the privilege of helping other women get that $500 bonus. I mean, nothing better than seeing.
So awesome. They just keep getting better and better, and that's what you can tell the people that you're recruiting is they're not stopping. They're just getting better and better.
Yeah, it really is true. Okay, so end of sermon. So last parting thoughts. What are you all thinking about? Now you're terrified. Now you're going, okay, I think I just want this to be a hobby again. Forget it. That's okay.
No, I'm motivated. I'm getting February booked this weekend because I want that stinking water bottle and I want everything else. And like you say, we can't get anything unless we're in motion. And my one party in February is not going to get me there.
Okay. Love it.
So I'm motivated.
Awesome. Allison, thank you. That was brilliant. I love it. Who else?
I have another thought.
Okay.
If you have reunion coming up with your high school or college, get on the board, because I just volunteer myself to be an organizer for some class reunion that's not even mine, just so I have access to about 150 people who would be dressing up for this event. And hopefully my bling will be introduced into this new group of acquaintances.
Nice. I love that.
Diane, I love how you're always thinking outside of the box. Every single time we are on a call together or I see you, you always have this completely outside of the box idea, and I love it.
Yep. It's great.
Thank you. I'm nervous, but I'm trying everything.
We are all nervous. That is normal. So accept that as the new normal, knowing that being nervous is what gets you what you want. And I'm telling you, when you start getting what you want, you're going to go, I don't care about being nervous. I'll be nervous every day if I can keep getting this paycheck and this bonus and this BMW and this trip, right? It makes being nervous worth it. And you know what's really amazing? The thing that surprises me, this is me personally talking, not Betsy the trainer, but Betsy the person. You know, it spills over into everything else that I do in my life now. Being confident in my business, learning what I can actually accomplish has changed everything else that I do in my life. I'm more confident in the way that I am a parent. I'm more confident in the way that I speak to my husband. I'm more confident in the things that I can do with my friends. I'm more confident when I'm at church in leadership positions or not in leadership positions, just serving. I'm more confident. I can do all these things more confidently because I am seeing what I'm actually capable of. And that's what I want for all of you. I don't want fear to hold you back from doing what you are fully capable of doing. Okay.
I would like to share just one more.
Thanks, Diane.
This is from my very first mentor when I was in my teens and early 20s. He has passed away, God bless him, John Costello.
Yeah.
He told me, you just ask. Worst they can say is no. And that's exactly where you started. So you've lost nothing.
That is
so don't be afraid of the no. Don't be afraid of the no. Ask, because even if they tell you no, you haven't lost anything, because that's where you started. And if they say yes, you have everything to gain.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. It's excellent. Anybody else want to share something? Wendy, is that your bedroom? It just looks so beautiful. You're muted. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'll unmute you. I gotcha.
Sorry. Yes, I'm actually sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Well, you look like you're in the lap of luxury there, so I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. I'm just trying to absorb it all.
Okay, that's all right. That was a lot for a sick brain. That's okay. I hope you feel better.
Feel better.
Anybody else? Last thoughts? Rhonda, did I terrify you or did I motivate you? You're brand new.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Oh, okay, I thought I was muted.
Yeah.
No, because I've done this before.
Yeah.
I worked with Wen. I've done this kind of business a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, like you said, think out of the box. And I was thinking too, I saw a realtor friend of mine that is like the president of the Women's Association. And I'm going to get in touch with her and see if they allow people, like maybe I can do a fundraiser for them, set up outside of the meeting when they're all going in, that kind of thing. So I'm going to give her a call and see about doing something like that, where it's a little bit more local. the one party I have booked, like I think I told you, she's like 2.5 hours away, so we're going to try to do a Skype. And that's kind of how I put it to her. I go, I'm not into all this new technology, but maybe we could Skype it, and it would be my first one, and see how it goes, and just to try something new. So I'll be talking to her in the next day or two. Today, that lady's birthday, so I'm going to leave her alone today.
Yeah.
So I, trying to think of different places. Like you said, you got to get out of your, like you don't count on your friends or your relatives, because then they're not usually there. They're there for you in other ways. That they're not there, at this point. It's like, I don't really need that right now.
They don't always understand our business goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's okay. It's okay. I don't hold it against them. It's like, well, look at the book and, let me know what you think. If nothing else, just let me know what you think, you know?
Right.
But, and I know, and everybody on the thing, you wear the jewelry out of the house and people are stopping you like, that's gorgeous.
It's really true. It happened today. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, it'll happen. And,
it will.
I got good support behind me, and, that's all that matters at this point, and we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I'm so glad you're with us, Rhonda. It's awesome.
Thank you. And Wendy, in case everybody doesn't know, Wendy just signed up with me this morning.
Wendy!
Yay.
I hope you feel better, girl.
Yeah, she's that new and she is that sick.
So, and she's on. Thank you. It's nice to meet you. This is our Wendy. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, thank you all so much for being on. It's just great to see everybody's faces and hear your sweet voices. Have a great weekend. Do not let yourself off the hook. Make a plan of what you want to accomplish for you, because you deserve it. All right. And let us know what we can do to help you. Take care, and we'll see you on Monday night, hopefully on all of our trainings, okay?
Thanks, Betsy. Bye.
Thank you, Betsy.
Bye now. Appreciate you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Betsy.
My pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.